Welcome to A Drink of Wisdom with Jay Wise and Nathan Drinkard. I'm your host, Cody Ward. Thanks for spending some of your time with us tonight. What's going on, guys?
Let's talk some sports, baby.
This is
A Drink of Wisdom.
Welcome to A Drink of Wisdom with Nathan Drinkard. I'm Jay Wise. Thanks for spending some of your time with us. What's going on, Drink?
Let's talk some sports, baby. Happy
Can't
Wednesday, everybody.
Can't start a show without that lovely intro from your boy. Hey, and in episode 54, we're back. Champ Week is here in college basketball. The Lakers take down the Bucks and the Clippers, and we discuss the future of the Brooklyn Nets. But we begin with the coronavirus, specifically its effect on the NCAA Tournament. It was announced this afternoon that both the men's and women's championship tournaments will be played without fans. That means empty arenas for March Madness. That'll certainly be strange to watch on television. All right, Drink, let's keep it simple for this one. What was your reaction when you heard this news?
You say it's going to be strange to watch on TV. I mean, that might be an understatement. Let me tell you. I would say this, as this virus have been progressing across the United States, across the world, for example, I tend to not take it serious. And so if you had to ask me this at the same time last week, I probably would have hit you with the, whatever. Sound like the flu. You know how many people the flu, how many deaths get caused by the flu every year? So at first, I kind of had a non-nonchalant attitude about it. As the time has passed now, you're talking about the NCAA not having fans. We got multiple NBA games that won't have fans. Your boy getting a little concerned at this point. I'm just going to call it what it is. Get a little concerned. If the NCAA is turning on, the big bucks and they're thinking more about, hey, let's keep the fans away. Let's talk about the safety of the kids, the men and women, and then you got the NBA talking about the safety of their players. It makes you wonder. It makes you a little more, concerned, a little scared almost to say, hey man, this is a real thing. This is a real deal thing. But as far as a product on TV, not gonna lie to you, I'm interested. Listen. I don't want anyone to think that I want someone to catch the coronavirus, because I don't. But I would say I am very, very interested in seeing these games that mean so much to these young men and women that's going to get played at such a high level to get played with no fanfare inside the arena. I'm curious to see how the players respond to this. I'm curious to see how the referee responds to this. I'm curious to see how the commentating responds to this. I mean, you think about it, all these entities, whether it's the players, the refs, the commentators, they all feed off the energy of the fans. Now you don't have those fans there for obvious reasons, and, I'm just very, very interested to see. I think we're going to get a very insightful look of these games that we don't usually get because of the fans. But listen, to give credit to the NCAA president, Mark Emmett, kudos, man. Kudos. I think it was probably very hard for him to come and make the decision to not allow fans to this tournament, knowing how big this tournament is, knowing what this tournament means to NCAA basketball, and just the overall picture of, if you want to look at finance, merchandising, if you want to look at all that, I'm pretty confident it was very hard for him to make. I think he made the right choice. You always should protect your players. And, hey, at the same time, you're protecting other fans as well. Because as I hear it, if you come in contact with someone that's been overseas or been out of the country or whatever the case might be, you have a strong chance of catching this virus. So if you make the fans stay at home or go somewhere local or somewhere closed in where you don't have a bunch of bodies getting in contact with each other, you minimize the risk of catching this virus. And that's what the goal is with all this. Just to be clear for the listeners, the goal with all this is to minimize the footprint inside these arenas and minimize the widespread, I should say, minimize the widespread of getting this virus. The smaller the group is, the smaller the chances of catching the virus. So that is why you see all this fanfare of no fans here, no fans there. So as far as my reaction to it, I think it's smart. I think it's right by the NCAA president, and I, for one, will be very interested to see this product on TV.
Yeah, this is a tough one, and there's a whole bunch of different angles we can look at this. First of all, I just want to say, you talked about Mark Emmert and the decision and I imagine the conversations that led up to this call being made. Yeah, I can't imagine this was an easy decision for him to make. This is something that's unprecedented. This is something we've never seen this. But I'm going to defer to the experts and the consultants I imagine they talk to make this decision, because I mean this is a public health concern, and which that, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that outweighs basketball or any sport. So we got to keep that in mind when we're talking about these things. But that being said, the games will have a different feel when you talk about how will this affect those games, and it goes to something that we talk about, when they break down the brackets on Selection Sunday. We talk about, hey, one of the things that comes to mind is, hey, Gonzaga get the number 1 seed in the West. That has its regional benefits, travel, and you get a little home court. Well, there's going to be no home court advantage for anybody. So I'm looking at how does that play in the betting world. Home court's good for a couple points. I got to imagine that changes the lines in that regards. And then on the court, this is something that coaches, you got to be thinking that they're thinking of, especially teams that traditionally, like your Dukes and your Gonzagas, like I said, they normally reap the benefits of a little home court, especially early on. And this is something you got to believe they're keeping in mind, and they're going to be driving into their players come next week. Hey, that whole thing where we, get some energy from the home court or from the home crowd, we're not going to have that. We're going to have to do this ourselves. The road team or the lesser seeded team is going to, they're going to be under the same circumstances as us. They're not going to have to deal with the crowd noise. The referees, they're not going to be under any sort of pressure from the fans. Not that they should be, but we got to look at the human element in all this. So I can't imagine, a Gonzaga out west getting advantageous calls. The game's going to be called straight up in my mind. So these are the type of things I'm thinking of. But just, you think about this, it's just going to be wildly, wildly strange to just watch this on TV and just empty seats. From my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, from what I read, the families of players are going to be allowed to attend these games. I don't know if I agree with that. I think if you're going to restrict fans, it should be a blanket policy. I get it. You want your families there, but hey, travel down to the city. You just can't be in the arena. I don't know if I like that special treatment.
What's the difference between a family member and a fan at this point? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm getting at. I don't see that as any difference at all. I get it. You want to have your family down there support you. Well, hey, come on down to the city wherever we at. Hey, I'll see you before and after the game, that type of thing. But hey, that's just one of those little side notes. But all in all, the last point I would tell you is this is a sad thing. And I think it's definitely gonna have an impact. I think even when you think about the simple task of just filling out a bracket, I don't think you do it with as much joy as you normally would do with this with this public health issue we have right now. And I know I just said last thing, but one more thing, that it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how other sports attack this issue. Will they use the NCAA's position as kind of, will they go along with what Mark Emmert has said? We've already seen some instances out in San Francisco, the Warriors home games. They're going to be playing in an empty arena when they play the Nets. I believe that's tomorrow. The Seattle Mariners, I think all their home games for March, they're going to be played at an alternate location. So, and I think the NBA owners and senior officials, or it might be the board of governors, are looking at how do they proceed for the rest of the season. So I hope that in the grand scheme of things, I hope that the professionals are able to get this under control and we get this contained, because if we don't, it's going to have a far-reaching effect greater than college basketball.
Yeah, to hit on what you just said, as far as the Warriors, for sure, the Warriors now they released a press statement saying that they're not going to have fans for the foreseeable future. So that's the rest of the season or however this outbreak goes. And I did read that as far as the NBA, the rest of the NBA, what they want to do is they either going to shift games either to the opponent's home if it's safer, or they're going to select to use a neutral site for those games. Whichever one is safer, just so they can try to calm down the outbreak or the hysterical of the outbreak. Let's say that. That's what they're looking to do. But you made a fantastic point. And if this is true, I would love for somebody, Mark. I just gave you kudos for making this decision. Now you gotta kind of clarify this. What is the difference if a family member can come and a fan can't come? Blood? I mean, you still can get sick, but what's the difference? So at the same time, if that's true, you might well just open the doors and go ahead and make some. They don't make a whole lot of sense to me. I'm hoping that that's just an admiration, and maybe that's a decision that he's waiting to the very fine tooth comb minute to say, all right, no families, which would suck if you buy a ticket all the way out there and you say no. But it's a tough decision all the way around, So we'll see, man. But this should be a quite interesting tournament without no fans.
What's going to be interesting, and I hope that this doesn't come to it. I'm just bringing it up. If a player catches this, then what do you do? Let's just say, like, I don't know how it happens, but let's just say a player catches. I gotta believe if that happens, then we have to start looking at canceling games, because I mean, on the basketball court, there's going to be contact. I mean, that's just the nature of the sport. I mean, it's not football. We ain't banging at each other consistently, but that's just another thing we're thinking about. And something else that's interesting, the timing of this. They made this announcement earlier today, and conference tournaments. I don't think the individual conferences, the major conferences that started their play this week, which we're about to discuss, they didn't really have time to maybe fall in line with what the NCAA said. So it'd have been interesting if they'd have made this decision maybe last week. Would the major conferences have followed suit? But as it stands, the ACC, the Big Ten, SEC, and so on, they're moving forward with their tournaments. Fans are going to be at those games. And, we did see some of the mid-major conferences. The Ivy League comes to mind. They flat out canceled their tournament, which is a shame. I think I'd like to see those games take place, and it removes the opportunity for another team to get that bid. The regular season champions, I believe in the men's side, it was Yale. They just get the bid outright. Nobody else has a chance. That's a shame.
Okay. So that's how they're doing it, so that whoever won the regular season, that's who's going to get the bid.
That's how they did it in the Ivy League. So that's obviously a shame, but it's definitely something we'll have to watch going forward.